Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Follow Through Friday. It's Friday. I don't know about you, but I am excited that it's Friday. Even though I'm recording this on not Friday, I could imagine how it's going to feel on Friday. So I'm your host, Crystal Wydell, and today we're going to be diving into some of the Follow Through Friday activities from Wednesday's podcast episode. So if you haven't listened to this week's podcast episode, definitely go back and check it out. It was with Christine McLean Lewis, and she is a B2B content strategist. And we were talking about all things digital content strategy. And she spoke a lot about content assets. And so with this push of digital, like public relations, I had heard about something called a linkable asset. And so through our conversation, she reminded me of that. And I was like, you know what? This would be the week to create a linkable asset. Now, I will say, I almost wanted to talk today a little bit about jobs to be done, because in the founders member launch that we did for the SEO squad, we had our first meeting this past Monday, and we were doing all things like with Google Search Console and that type of stuff. And then our homework assignment as a group was to look at a jobs to be done presentation and aligning that with SEO goals. So I was like, oh, I can't wait to do that one, but maybe I'll do that next week. So I will stick with linkable assets today. However, that is something that's going to be on my radar. So hopefully I'll listen to this and one day be reminded that I wanted to follow up with that. So anyway, linkable assets. So I have this new piece of content on my website, collagenwood.com, that is targeted to senior parents who are looking at sending their kid to college next year to play sports. And so the article is about name, image, and likeness. And it's this new thing within the last 2 years. The NCAA got in trouble for basically not letting athletes make money while they were playing for their respective college teams, because we live in a free market society. So I can't explain it very well, but Casey Floyd, who is the co-founder of No Cap Sports, he let me interview him all about NIL. So I have quite a few digital assets and linkable assets already on that page, because I broke apart that interview that I did with Casey. But I wanted to also have some statistical references. Now, I feel like my statistical references are a little bit weak sauce. I was trying to come up with something fairly quickly in the midst of all the other things that I was doing. So here's me making excuses. But it is interesting. I mean, it's information you can get other places, but it's kind of nice that you can get it right here in the midst of this article as well. And so what I did was I created a little graphic that has the top female earners in NIL money for 2023, 2024, and then a graphic for the guys as well. And so just in case you might be interested in how this works, the top female earners this year are Olivia Libby Dunn, who is a gymnast, and she has a valuation of $3.4 million. So that's not necessarily how much she's made, but there's this website called on3.com where they give valuations of athletes and basically say, okay, due to their social media profiles and blah, 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 this is how much they're worth in name, image, likeness, potential money. So Libby was number one in the top female earners. And then number two is Angel Reese, who is a basketball player, and she plays for LSU. Last year, they won the national championship. There's a little bit of drama on the last couple games, but it was really great for the women's game. Lots of views, lots of public attention on the women's basketball teams last year. And so Angel came in at number two, and her valuation was $1.7 million. And then she has a teammate who is the next highest earner, according to these valuations on Thru. And her name is Flage Johnson, and she's got a $1.1 million valuation. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad to have this little statistical graphic here, especially for the girls, because a lot of times people want to know about the guys. And so I will go to the guys. But what's interesting about the guys is all of them have famous last names. So see if you pick up on this, okay? And obviously, if you're in the US, this might sound a little bit more familiar than if you're not. Oh, okay. The top male earners in NIL money last year. First one is Bronny James. Bronny James, if you haven't heard of him, he is the son of LeBron James, the famous basketball player, plays for the Lakers. His valuation is at $5.9 million. And then number two is Shedeur Sanders. And if you are a sports fan, especially a college football fan, you know who Shedeur is. And you also know his daddy, who is Deion Sanders, who's an amazing dual sport athlete back in the day, back in my time when I was younger. Deion played baseball and football and was like all world in both of them. And so his son is a quarterback at Colorado, where Deion Sanders, his father, now coaches. So Shedeur Sanders was number 2 with 3.3 million. So we got Bronny at number 1 at 5.9 million. We got Shedeur at number 2 at 3.3 million. And then we've got Arch Manning at number 3 with 2.8 million. And what's interesting about Arch too, is he wasn't even the starting quarterback at Texas this year. He was the backup quarterback, and he still has a $2.8 million valuation. Now, if you know anything about NFL football, you probably recognize the last name Manning. I think he was named for his grandfather, who's actually Archie Manning. But more recently, his uncles played in the NFL, and that's Eli and Peyton Manning. So I thought that was really interesting. I was like, the top 3 college athletes are actually sons or grandsons or nephews of former famous professional athletes, or current, actually, because LeBron's still playing. So anyway, that is the linkable asset that I created. 2 different graphics that talk about the top earners in NIL money for the men's side and for the women's side. And I'll be able to update that every year for each school year. So that is my follow through Friday of linkable assets. So I'd love to know what you have done. Do you have a linkable asset on your website? And, after listening to this and wanting to follow through, did you create one? You can always tag me at Knowledge Vomit on pretty much every platform. And you can also tag the show, which is at Simple and Smart SEO. I definitely want to hear from you. Any win that you have from implementing something that you heard on the show, definitely reach out and share. There is no win too small. Okay. So remember, success isn't about the destination. It's about the journey. Keep pushing forward, keep following through, and I will see you next time. Bye.